Fei is in North Point. Let's see what he has to share with us.
Sports has been the go-to activity for leisure and fitness in Hong Kong. However, in many other countries, it has been extended into a profession or a business. Sports is fun and exciting, so why not make it work and have every day be a meaningful one while perfecting a craft that you love? As they always say, investing in yourself is the best thing that you can do. So let's go check out a sport that has been headed towards that direction.
Lacrosse has been around for decades in Hong Kong, but I certainly don't know much about it, so this is going to be an eye-opener. I can't wait to find out more and what the future holds for this sport. Who are we speaking to first, Fei?
Hi, Gemini.
Hi.
It's a pleasure meeting you. So you are the head coach for the lacrosse team in Hong Kong.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how lacrosse came to Hong Kong?
So lacrosse came to Hong Kong in 1962 when a British professor came and teach at the University of Hong Kong. And then he brought over a bunch of sticks and they started teaching students there to play.
Okay, so is that where you started?
No, so I didn't study at the University of Hong Kong, so I went to school in England, that's where I started. And then when I came back, I started noticing there were like lacrosse in Hong Kong, and I was getting more involved with kind of helping build the women's program.
Right, so why did you choose lacrosse over, all the other sports?
So it was the main sport in my school in England, and then it kind of like brought a lot of friends for me, and then it kind of helped me integrate into my life in England as well when I was studying there. And then so I kind of want to give back to lacrosse in Hong Kong as well. And then when I came back, there weren't many women playing. There was mainly the men's at the different halls.
Right.
And then I kind of started working with the players, the women's players here. We were like girlfriends of the members, men's team member, and we started building a team here.
So where did that, passion came from, the love for lacrosse?
And I think mainly it was like kind of with the help of everybody who loves lacrosse. So we kind of like started with maybe 3 or 4 players, and then we had a vision of like, okay, we need a Hong Kong team at a Women's World Championship. And we started like having that goal, and we kind of like built onto that, and then started joining different Asian championships, and then we went to our first World Championship in 2013.
So how did that journey of coaching begin?
So I started coaching like little kids when I started coming back to Hong Kong, because I just want more people to know about the sport, because it was not very well known. Most people don't know it. They see a stick, they're like, oh, what's that? Right. And then so I really just want more people to know what lacrosse is. So I started teaching like little kids and then teenagers. And then from then on, after I retired from the Hong Kong team, the head coach then was like, oh, do you want to help out to coach, the high performance teams, our Hong Kong team? That's how I started coaching more high performance.
I see. Yeah. So what's the biggest difference, coaching kids compared to, adults?
I mean, coaching adults, we have a goal of, for the Hong Kong team to be like, okay, we want to rank higher than the last time we won the World Championship. We want to qualify for the World Championship, so there's like a big goal for them. For coaching kids, okay, first thing, we want them to have fun. We want to motivate them for coming back, but also like we also have like a hidden agenda goal is that they keep playing until, they reach the age of maybe like a U20 Hong Kong team or like a senior Hong Kong team, so that I can continue to actually represent Hong Kong in the future. So we want to start them young, basically.
Hi Raymond, it's a pleasure meeting you. Can you tell a little bit about yourself?
I'm the CEO of the Hong Kong Lacrosse. I basically run, everything strategic up to operations, and basically build the sport in Hong Kong in the last 5 years, as you will. Lacrosse has been around in Hong Kong for quite many years. But what happened was, there's a lot of passionate players. There wasn't really much of a structure or, organization to develop the sport.
So when you first got on board, how is it different comparing to, now?
Oh, very different. I have no resources whatsoever. I just basically airborne. There's no office, nothing, not even a desk. So I basically started it from scratch.
Right. How do you attract, more investors into lacrosse?
So first of all, in the business world, very practically, what's the return ratio? Sport as a business, has proven to be doable and successful, right? If you look at all the big leagues in the North America, you got basketball, you got baseball, football, ice hockey. All those are very, very big business. And now that we actually have a league what we call PLL, as the Professional Lacrosse League, that's happening in North America. So that's proven. I mean, even look at Hong Kong, you know, Rugby 7 is very successful.
Right, definitely.
Right? So it is very, very doable. Long term, obviously, you know, if you create a critical mass, you know, and you can generate a lot of mega events, then, you know, ticketing would be a good revenue.
So what's your take on the future of lacrosse in Hong Kong?
The future is very, very bright. Lacrosse in the world, not just Hong Kong, has been growing exponentially for a couple of reasons. People want to try something new, one thing. It's a physical sport,
Right.
but it's less damaging, if you were to compare to football. American football is all that, right?
Definitely.
Lacrosse is also getting a lot of attention at a lot of Ivy League colleges,
Right.
and they actually offer scholarship to lacrosse players now. So that's, you know, sort of appealing to the players as well as the family and the parents. When it comes back to Hong Kong, we have grown a lot. You know, if I sort of compare to 5 years ago when I first sort of joined the organization, I had to sort of lobby the buy-in and get people to come and try all that, and we don't need to do that anymore. We actually have people calling in, making inquiries, you know. So that shows, you know, we are more recognized. People are more interested in lacrosse as a up-and-coming new sport.
Right.
Oh, my name is Joyce. I'm a lacrosse player. I've played this sport for 7 years. And as well as being a player of lacrosse, I also officiate the game.
Oh, so you are a ref as well for the game?
Yes. I started playing 7 years ago.
Okay.
And I also became an official 5 years ago. So 2 years into playing the game, I really wanted to learn a bit more about the rules, and that's why I started officiating.
Wow, so what actually got you into lacrosse?
Initially, it was actually a funny story. So my dormitory needed to make a team in order to participate in the freshman tournament.
Okay.
And we just didn't have enough players. So back then I was still playing basketball, which I have done since secondary school. And I thought, okay, you need some players to play a new sport. I haven't tried it before. I'm free that weekend, I'll be up for it. So that's how I started. One really hard part when you start playing lacrosse is that the technicality of it, because there's a stick involved.
Yes.
So initially learning how to maneuver yourself with the stick is very difficult, including like throwing a pass that's straight and then receiving a pass from your teammates. So it was really challenging, but at the same time, it was really exciting and really rewarding for me when I could actually start really mastering that skill and be able to use a stick really well.
So have you competed before?
Competed in a local level.
Okay.
So I've competed against a lot of the women's representative team of Hong Kong. And I was previously in the high performance program for women's. So in that program, we played a lot of league games as well as practiced the game twice a week.
So you've been in this sport for many years now. Where do you see yourself with this sport in the future?
I think I see myself continue to be playing the sport for a very long time in the future. Hopefully in the next few years, I hope to represent Hong Kong and play in an international level. Personally, for me, it's been such a rewarding experience playing lacrosse. I've learned so much just from being dedicated to one thing for so long. It teaches you how to be a very resilient person, how to be responsible, to make commitments and really make them.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Zhang. It's very nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Can
you.
you tell us a little bit more on how you learn about the game of lacrosse?
Oh, it's very interesting. When I was a kid, so I noticed there's a game with the playing with the sticks. I noticed that from a movie. So when last summer we were looking for summer games for our kids, I recalled that moment and I tried to search that on the internet and I found there is an association provide this sport training for the kids. Then we registered over there and we got our kids into the game, and that's how it started.
Do you see, maybe perhaps if your kids are really into it in the future, maybe they could be more into the international level?
Yeah, could be. Why not think like that?
Right.
Yeah, because this association has built up a lot of training programs from teenagers to youth to adults. So, and our kids, we also want to compete higher level. So maybe in the future they can play for the Hong Kong team. Who knows?
Although lacrosse isn't a mainstream sport in Hong Kong, but I have huge respect for the community as they're willing to put their time and effort into the game, as well as putting the sport on to an international level. And most importantly, they're making their dreams come to life. Seeing their effort in lacrosse makes me even more stoked about its future in Hong Kong.